Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we're going to be racing in the Moto E class here in the Sachsenring in the rain. Ladies and gentlemen, let's crack on. So here we go then from the back of the grid, all things nice and quiet for now until we burst into life when the red lights end, and here we go. Now, you may have or may not have had the privilege to watch Hector Garzo in action at the weekend in the Sachsenring, specifically race 2 when the heavens opened and the rainy conditions fell. Hector Garzo was absolutely untouchable in the wet weather conditions, and I have never been more inspired in my life to try the Moto E bikes in the wet. And I'm really looking forward to this one because I've watched some of the Moto E races back to back. I missed the ones in Assen, and then I missed the ones in Germany this weekend because I was away in Garmisch-Partenkirchen for the BMW Motorrad Days 2024. So, getting back home, watching Moto E and all the other Grand Prix as well, it's been a terrific weekend of racing to catch up on. But I thoroughly enjoyed the Moto E bikes. The Moto E racing was terrific. There was a few red flags, so some of the races got shortened, but they were brilliant, full of action and full of excitement. And I was really eager to see what I could do with the wet weather master, the rain master, Hector Garzo, in today's video. And I must confess, already it's going swimmingly. Excuse the pun, but it's going really well. 2 seconds behind the leader already. We started from the back of the grid. This is going peachy. Now into the left-hand side for the Queckenberg corner, where, oh my god, the chatter going on to the front end there for the Ducati V21L. Certainly felt like I was going to lose the front there, but thankfully we stayed on, and looks like everyone else did as well, as Kevin Manfredi is playing chicken on the brakes, trying to stop me from getting through, and in fact he's actually succeeded as I get caught up on the curb there. So behind Manfredi again, and hoping to get back up to Alessandro Zacconi. Alizac, of course, one of my favourite riders in Moto E, to be quite honest with you. And I was really hoping he could build up a championship challenge for the latter stages of Moto E, because his past couple of results have been superb. Missing out on a victory narrowly in Mugello, missing out on a victory narrowly in Assen as well, and then finally finishing on the top step of the podium in the final race of Assen. So, good to see Alizac up there, but he did struggle in the wet weather conditions, to be quite honest with you. He didn't quite have this spin. Oh my god, Jordi Torres is down. Did he? Has he saved it? Oh! Oh my god! I thought Jordi Torres had saved that then. That was unbelievable. I have to see that again. I'll bang it up on the right hand side of your screen after recorded the replays in a bit. But he looked like he saved that. Oh, track limit warning, I got too excited there. My apologies. But wow! Jordi Torres almost with the save of the season here in our virtual world. That was incredible. Definitely going to have to see that again. But yeah, unfortunately Jordi Torres actually finished on the podium as well in Moto E. The veteran of the sport, of course. He was up against Oscar Gutierrez, who's right there in it in the championship hunt. And there is Eric Granado. Do quite like Eric Granado, the Brazilian, but he does make a lot of mistakes, doesn't he? I imagine for the Brazilian fans, it must be hard to watch him make so many mistakes. I've been expecting him to be a Moto E World Champion for quite a few years now, as we just give Oscar Gutierrez a bit of a bump. But it just doesn't seem to come to fruition for the Brazilian. Maybe he'll finally develop some consistency and not make so many errors. Of course, he took out Kevin Zanoni in Assen and found himself with a double long lap penalty, which was rightfully deserved, to be honest. It was quite an aggressive lunge going into the Struben corner. But just past Oscar Gutierrez a moment ago, just before squeezing through on Nicolas Spinelli. And I've got to mention the new long lap penalty here in the Sachsenring. Of course, in the game it's still the old version into turn 1, but the new version is in Queckenberg corner, which is the final corner. And I must confess, I hate that long lap penalty. It seems extremely dangerous, but at the same time, there isn't really a good spot for it to be in this circuit. But if you didn't see the race this weekend, then it is actually in this corner here. You go a little bit wider and then turn left. So where we are turning now, you go wide and then turn left. It's a very awkward spot because you return back on the racing line where the riders then have to try and squeeze past you. It gets very concerning in that right-hand side, left-hand side, on the right-hand side of the left-hander. So a little bit concerned for that. I've seen a lot of almost collisions in Moto 3. I think it was particularly Ivan O'Toole and his teammate Ryusai Yamanaka. They were very close together coming out of that long lap penalty. And of course, Oscar Gutierrez crashed in the long lap penalty zone. So the number 99 turning in quite fast. He did actually acquire 4 long lap penalties though, which is it must be an achievement. I've never seen that ever. 4 long lap penalties is something I only see with idiots playing online, where they just consistently cut every corner. But Oscar Gutierrez got a double long lap penalty for causing a collision with Eric Granado in the red flagged race 1, and then had it because he immediately jumped the start upon the restart. 4 long lap penalties. I think I've seen a comment on Instagram today that said, if I had 4, I'd just park it in the garage. I guess you would. There's not a lot you can do when you've received 4 long lap penalties, each and every one of them taking around 2 seconds away from your lap time. I mean, that's Moto E's 10 laps, as you can see already. So that's 4 laps basically wasted. It would be damn near impossible to try and catch up the field. But talking about Hector Garzo, I think we've completely missed the fact of the whole purpose of this video here today. It's just that watching him dominate the Sachsenring in the wet was terrific. My money was on Nicola Spinelli, no doubt. He's a great wet weather rider. But Hector Garzo, he looked brilliant. Absolutely phenomenal. The Spaniard looked great. So I watched it and I've just thought, I really want to play this myself. I want to see how it feels with these Moto E bikes in these wet weather conditions in a circuit as tight and as twisty as the terrific circuit of Sachsenring. And honestly, it feels magnificent. This is a pleasure to do. Left the traction control up to 2 though, instead of dropping it down to 1. I think that's a good feeling. But you do have to be extremely gentle on the throttle. I mean, you can see in the bottom right corner of your screen how gently the green bar is being increased. And of course my patented style of sort of feathering the throttle is quite on display here in this circuit. And this has been a pleasure to ride round so far. I didn't do any practice, I just sort of jumped on. But I guess, a little bit too close for comfort. Into the Ralph Waldrum curve, down the waterfall section. We've already had a small concern there going into turn 10. But I think the curbs and the rumble strips in MotoGP 24 are pretty good. You don't really need to stress too much if you get on them. I mean, compared to like Ride 5 where it's almost an instant crash, it's much better that way. But goodness me, the feeling of chatter and vibration going into that final corner, it's really coming through on the DualSense controller here on PC. Bit concerning, but I'm just sort of gritting my teeth and going for it at the same time, and it seems to be working out rather well. But yeah, this feels fantastic. I'm really pleased with this, and I'm one of those players. Whenever I watch something, whether it be MotoGP, whether it be rugby league, or maybe the NBA, if I've seen like a good spot, or I've seen some good overtakes in a race, or maybe I've seen a good try in rugby, I want to get on the game and I want to replicate it. So that's what I'm doing here today with Hector Garzo, and I must confess, I've got a massive smile on my face here. I'm really enjoying this. I was disappointed to miss some of the races over the past couple of days, or at least over the weekend. I caught up with BSB within the airport in Germany, in Munich to be quite precise. But my MotoGP subscription just was not having it. It was telling me that because I was not signed in my own country where my account is from, it would say it wouldn't let me on. So yeah, I had to either create a VPN or just wait until I got home. So I took the latter, put it on the big telly when I got home and watched MotoGP to my heart's content until I fell fast asleep. So it was terrific. Brilliant weekend of racing. Still really buzzing about the whole experience about going to Germany again and going to BMW Motorrad days. So expect to see the Sachsenring again this week because I'm really enjoying this circuit. It feels good to be here, and that is now my 4th lap in a row of the 129s, and I don't think anyone is even within a sniff of those lap times. We are basically doing what Hector Garzo did at the weekend. This is brilliant. I highly recommend you try this challenge yourself. 120% difficulty, start at the back of the grid, Moto E machine, use whichever rider you want, and here in the Sachsenring. Feels good. Feels really good, and I must confess, I'm happy to be doing a video here today. I really am. Sometimes I get a bit tired and I feel like I might have not got the energy for a video, or maybe I've not got the idea to create something special, but today I feel good. I feel like this is going to be a solid video, so I hope none of you are turned off just because it was Moto E. Give it a chance, trust me, you'll enjoy it. I mean, if you're still watching at this point, then clearly you are enjoying the video, so why not hit the like button and consider subscribing as well. But I do appreciate that Moto E is not everyone's cup of tea. Rhyming accidentally. Its lack of sound is certainly something that disappoints many of the fans, but I can tell you the action is fantastic, and the whole concept of it being a sprint in both races is really appealing. Because I must, like, thinking about Moto 3, thinking about Moto 2, sometimes the races can feel a little bit long, and I don't like to admit that because I'm a big fan of motorcycle racing, but sometimes they do feel like they're dragging a little bit if nothing is happening. Where Moto E, it has that determination that just to keep you watching, because there's so many overtakes in such a short amount of time that anything could go wrong, and anything can go wrong. Look at Mattia Cassidy getting taken out in Assen by Mantovani. Lorenzo and Bautista-esque from when he got took out many years ago in Assen. I think we've seen even Top Right got took out by Garrett Gerloff as well, I think, in the same corner. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a twitch there upon the rear tyre. Just take it a little bit steady. Let's not get too aggressive at this stage of the Grand Prix. Of course, with the Queckenberg corner into the final one, that's where a lot of chatter is going to be happening on the left-hand side of the tyre. So I don't want to be completely knackering the soft Dunlops, soft Michelins by the time we get up to that final corner, because then it could result in a bit of a crash. A lot of long lap penalties, or track limit warnings on the left-hand side of your screen. A few information on the right-hand side as well. Chaz Davies given a track limit too. So it seems a lot of riders struggling to keep on the track. Kevin Zanoni, the only man who hasn't received a single track limit warning. Impressive stuff for the number 21, but we now go into the penultimate corner, or at least the final corner, should I say, on the lap before the penultimate one. So it is now a pretty cushy lead as we set identical lap times, ladies and gentlemen. A 1:30.286 here on lap 8. Ah, this is going really well. I am very much enjoying this one. I certainly hope you guys are as well. Of course, going to be extending the video ideas very soon as well. We've got the MotoGP Ace Academy Esports Championship. Wow, I added esports in there for no reason. But the Ace Academy Championship on MotoGP 24 is starting very soon. We're just sorting out the final bits and picking riders and bikes to choose from for the full season. So that's something else to look forward to. I will be streaming those. And of course I will be getting back to streaming as well to do the 100 laps of the Circuit of Americas, which I'm actually daunting and somewhat not looking forward to it, but I am in the same time. I think that's going to be a rather an interesting challenge, but I think it's going to be exhausting to try and do 100 laps of such a exhausting circuit. Oh, as Massimo Roccoli's gone down. What's happened to the SIC 58 Squadra Corsa Ducati V21L rider? He's binned it somewhere behind us, but look at that gap on the left-hand side of your screen. That is a monumental lead. 7 seconds clear from the competition. We might as well have done time trial. We've annihilated them. Strong out to the final corner, across the line. That's a good lap time, actually, not too bad. Getting back into the 129s at this stage of the Grand Prix is certainly nothing to scoff at. And the fact that that front tyre, especially on the left, is looking extremely worse for wear, I think that's quite an impressive feat. And speaking of the left-hand side, of course, 9 left-handers here in the Sachsenring with 3 rights. It's a difficult circuit to tackle, and which is very demanding. So this has been impressive stuff. I feel like Hector Garzo right now. And what a performance. Fair play to Hector. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He's one of those riders, I think he's a former Moto 2 rider, that I think doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's a very underrated... Oh, my favourite rider's gone down. Alessandro Zacconi's binned it. He was in about 6th place, and unfortunately he's out with the contention. And he's out with a full race, actually, as well as Matteo Ferrari, the inaugural Moto E World Cup winner. But yeah, Hector Garzo, Unbelievable. Oh, Oscar Gutierrez can't find a way to avoid a long lap penalty. 4 long lap penalties in Sachsenring at the weekend, and 1 in my virtual world of MotoGP 24. That is a bit embarrassing. So we now go into the 13th and final corner. The 9th left-hander against the 4 right-handers. It is now victory for us again. Can we wheelie for the aces? You bet we can. Oh, almost went too far. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. We did finish 6.5 seconds clear from everyone else. How the hell did Nicola Spinelli put a 1:29.1 in? When did he do that? Ah, well, I never noticed. It looks like Gutierrez didn't take his long lap penalty. In fact, he couldn't because it was the final lap. So, yeah. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the Moto E race at the weekend. And I'll see you tomorrow for more content. Ciao for now. Oh, hi. Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.